America is respected again as a country. We were not respected with Biden.
He loves this shit. I love at the end, he was like, and then he just goes like, eh?
You could fill an entire Epstein list with the amount of humiliating gaffes and glitches Donald Geriatric Trump has had in the past 2 days alone while on his absolute circus act of a tour through Southeast Asia. Some of these are so bad that they've sparked renewed ridicule and speculation both domestically and abroad about whether Dementia Don is fit to lead a press conference, let alone a global superpower. Hell, I mean, the guy didn't even realize that he was being laughed at and snubbed by India after he tried praising their prime minister by doing an Indian accent to impersonate him.
He's a killer. He's tough as hell. No, we will fight.
Not even a good one at that. But y'all, that is just the tip of the iceberg from today alone, folks. So let's quickly highlight how much of a bloated corpse this guy actually looks like to anyone without MAGA red rose-tinted glasses, as well as how his nosediving health is causing global security concerns, and how even domestically he just got hit with devastating all-time low approval ratings. And given the only thing lower than Trump's approval ratings is his IQ, it should be easy to get more likes and subscribers on this video than both of those numbers combined. Now, you've likely already seen Trump's I just shit myself dance and him getting lost in a Japanese ballroom.
Just kind of stands there staring until the prime minister leads him to the other side of the room where, not much to see here. Kind of lumbers past the flags. He salutes the drapes. I don't know what he's saluting.
But Grandpa Trump today came back ready to prove all the haters wrong as he exited Air Force One. President Donald Trump's cautious arrival in South Korea has raised further questions about the 79-year-old's health. Trump gripped the railing of Air Force One as he took special care to walk down the steps after landing in Busan, South Korea on Wednesday. With eyes fixed downwards, the president moved oh so carefully down the staircase where he was greeted by dignitaries on a red carpet. Trump's slow and steady exit from Air Force One follows the revelation last month that he is concerned about tumbling while using the stairs.
I'm very careful, when I walk downstairs, like I'm on stairs, like these stairs. I walk very slowly. Nobody has to set a record. Just try not to fall.
Right, a fall like that might be cause for an MRI, which Trump secretly got and then lied that it was perfect. And we should totally take the president's word for that, because what does some cardiologist who was the cardiologist to Dick Cheney know about anything? Even though he suggested the only reason a president would get an MRI is if they had symptoms associated with a neurological issue, or back pain, or issues with the heart. And that an MRI is never part of a routine evaluation. But when you're the president, they let you do it. They let you say your MRI was perfect without explaining why you underwent the process, what consultants you saw, or what the result of the testing was.
When you're a star, they let you do it. You can do anything. Whatever you want. Grab them by the pussy.
Have you ever had a dream that you want him to do you so much you could do anything?
Yes, Make-A-Wish president, you can do anything, bud. Except for maybe an Indian accent. And believe it or not, this wasn't even the reason the Prime Minister of India didn't show up to this forum.
People, I'll tell you what, Prime Minister Modi is the nicest looking guy. He says, and he looks like you'd like to have your father, like, he's a killer. He's tough as hell. No, we will fight. I said, whoa, this is the same man that I know. But after a little while, and they're good people, and after literally 2 days, they called up and they said, we understand, and they stopped fighting. How is that? Isn't that amazing? Now, you think Biden would have done that? I don't think so.
Yeah, and because that was a little like listening to someone in a nursing home talk about the golden years, I just want to explain real quick. He was bragging there again about single-handedly bringing a swift end to the 4-day armed conflict between nuclear rivals India and Pakistan by allegedly threatening both nations with 250% tariffs. But Indian officials have publicly rejected those claims that he mediated the ceasefire. In fact, sources told Bloomberg that Modi skipped the entire summit in Malaysia this week because Indian officials were worried Trump would once again repeat his self-proclaimed role in ending the conflict. They probably didn't anticipate the accent. And now, with all of this happening on the global stage in front of the entire world, with Donald Trump and America itself being the butt of the joke here, Trump just got hit with these devastating all-time low approval ratings. I mean, we are talking record low as Americans turn on his handling of the economy according to a brutal poll. The latest YouGov Economist survey shows that 57% of people disapprove of Trump's job performance as president, compared to just 39% who approve. Not only is Trump's net approval rating of -18 the lowest of his second term, it is also 3 points lower than at any point during his first term in the White House. I mean, wow, 282 days into Donald Trump's term, the president's net approval rating is negative 18%, down 1.3 points since last week. 39% approve, 57% disapprove, 5% are not sure. This is a really interesting net approval percentage points rating chart of Obama, Biden, and Trump. Looks like throughout Trump's first and second terms, which in his second, he was actually riding high in the very beginning and now is just absolutely plummeting. Which was pretty much the case for his first term, at least up until the end, but he was never positive in his first term, which is crazy. Here is the net approval by issue. On inflation, back in January, it looked like he was a little bit in the approve, and now he is almost minus 40 points into the disapprove category. Jobs in the economy, he went from about 10%. I think it's telling, too, that he was never really over 10% approval rating on anything at any point. Jobs in the economy, now he's down to -20. Taxes and spending, he was hanging at about 5. Now he's down to -20. Immigration, he was up his highest out of all of these at like 10, 11. And now he's literally on the other side at -10 disapprove. And then national security, it looks like his smallest decrease here. He went from +10 to, I don't know, -1 or 2. Oh, this is super interesting, like a little periodic table of elements of the United States. Look at all the places he's getting these disapprovals in. Like, the only place that it seems approves is Idaho, which I think is telling because there's a whole, like, white supremacy thing going on there. Not even Wyoming is above like 20 points. West Virginia, all of these swing states that he won are now in deep red disapproved territory. I will link to the Economist article that this is from, because wow, if we are allowed to have elections come the midterms in 2028, this bodes very badly for Republicans. And I'd say that particularly because while it does bode well, I guess, for Democrats, I think the Democrats still have a decades-long reckoning that the party needs to come with itself. I mean, just watching people like Hakeem Jeffries and Chuck Schumer try to shit on Zohran Mamdani, like the smear campaign that's going on against Graham Plattner right now over his tattoo, which, yeah, that's pretty bad. But it just seems like anybody who comes out for the working class, who comes out for these, like, democratic socialist ideals like free healthcare or human rights or not taking corporate donor money and not letting lobbyists control what you do and actually, voting for your constituents. It seems like the Democrats just get off on putting those people down and trying to re-cement this establishment corporate Democrat bullshittery that we've seen for decades now, that doesn't move the needle at all and doesn't stop Republicans from barreling towards authoritarian fascism. So I think we are in a pivotal point in American politics, American history, honestly, because if we don't do something and we don't make the left more progressive and actually fight back, then the Republicans are just going to keep fucking us in the ass. But if we do step up and actually make the Democratic Party something that works for working class people and doesn't fearmonger good policy by saying, that's socialism, then yeah, we can swing the pendulum the other way, I think, and really take back this country for not only ourselves, but for the poor, disaffected MAGA people who at least are kind of realizing now that they've been getting fucked for a long time by their own party too. Anyway, those are my thoughts. That's the story. Donald Trump getting humiliated, and You know, it would be better news that his health mentally and physically is declining so much if he wasn't in charge of the goddamn nuclear codes. But hey, we can have a laugh at it, and we always will here at Really American. If you enjoyed the video and you want to support the work we're doing here, be sure to drop a like, a comment, and subscribe. For Really American, I'm Kenny Hesse. I will see you guys in the next one.